I have to ask you about Alita. So you've done so many incredibly innovative projects. This is one of them. It turned out to be this visual masterpiece. There's a bunch of complexity, beautiful complexity about it, in that it started out as a film that James Cameron was supposed to make.
Yeah.
And then you started to collaborate with him on it. And these two, I would say, brilliant directors, but with different styles, like you were talking about. And so, but plus there's the complexity of, for people who haven't seen it, you're putting this artificial creation, this beautiful, photorealistic artificial creation of a human being into a real world. So you have to capture the performance, not just the motion, but the performance of this actor, put them into this, with the power of technology, into the real world. So convey all the emotion, the richness of the human face. Can you just speak to the process of bringing that world to life?
Sure. I mean, one, I never would have attempted it if it wasn't Jim, because Jim has figured all of this out. So just to get you, again, remember, like I said, hey, Jim, I'm operating a Steadicam. What do you think of that? Well, I'm designing a new system. That's always how it is between him and I. So when I went to show him Desperado when it was done, he said, you might not want to sit through. If you don't want to sit through it while I'm watching it, it's fine. Do you want to read any of my scriptments, my treatment scripts, called scriptments? I said, sure. He goes, I have Spider-Man and I got Avatar. So this was in 95. He was showing me the scriptment for Avatar, which there was no technology for that. He was already doing stuff that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And I was reading it going like, this is a great story. And he's like, I don't know how the fuck's going to do this. It's impossible. It's not even, he'd just done, Terminator 2 a few years before. It's like, that was state of the art. So Alita was going to be the movie he did first to prepare for Avatar. And so he had already done some prep work on it. It was based on a manga. But before they did that, they just started doing some tests for Avatar. And then as they got deeper into the tests for Avatar to prepare for Alita, they went, I guess we're making Avatar first. So Alita got kind of pushed to the side, and they ended up doing it, which ended up becoming such a journey to make that movie, to get the technology to build it, to make it. Because I remember visiting him on the set. I mean, I've known him so long. I was on the set of Titanic. That's how long I've been around this guy. I was on the set of Titanic. I was on the set with Sarah Connor and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Eddie Furlong for the 3D ride he made for Universal a few years later. So, I mean, I feel like I've been around him a lot of his career. And to be able to visit the set, of Avatar, and remember him showing me like artwork they did, very photorealistic. And he goes, curious to see how photoreal it'll be when we're finally done with this process, because you don't get to see it till it's almost done. And I was like, wow, he's just shooting blind. He's really, talk about me shooting Mariachi, not seeing the footage. He's making this whole movie not even knowing what the end result's going to look like at all, because you're not going to know till you get there. And when you get there, if you don't like it, there's not a lot you can do. So it's just seeing him do that and have that success really made it easier for me to do Alita, because then it's like, okay, we don't know. Again, we don't need to know. We know we'll get there, but we don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to start. And anything that I would come up with on this movie and his team, because he had all his Weta people working on it, he had them all working on it too. I do a fast version of his process because there's a lot of live action. Avatar's mostly CG. I have live action sets. You have to come to my studio because I still have the whole Alita city in my back lot.
Well, here, the Troublemaker studio?
Yeah.
That's where it was?
Yeah, it was shot here. So when you go see my city, I built it very resourceful. This is weird. It looks just like the town from Mariachi, but it's in my backyard. I'm like, it looks better than the town from Mariachi.
Yeah.
90,000. It's the largest standing set in the country, because sets are always mowed down for the next movie, but I just kept it there. So we should shoot it all the time for Mexico or South America or Europe or whatever. It's 7 streets, and we added digitally above, but the ceilings are 20 feet high. You got to come see. You don't believe that it's here. It's unbelievable.
Where is it? North of Austin?
It's where the old airport was. So it's like on 51st Street. It's like really close to town.
I would love to visit.
You got to come see. You're not going to believe it. All my props, all my stuff from all my movies. So people who are, investing in Brass Knuckle, that's why they say it's like a Willy Wonka movie, because they're going to get to come check out all that stuff and be in proximity and see, oh, like me with that painter. It's not a trick. He's just doing it. Then you realize you can do it too. But we thought, let's shoot mostly live action and we'll just replace her, but we still have to figure her out. You have to cast the right actress. And when I saw Rosa Salazar, she was just amazing. She made me cry in audition for the first time. I was like, oh my God, this person has something. If we can capture even a a fourth of her facial expression, it'll bring so much life. And they got it 1-to-1. And it really helped Jim on the next Avatar and Weta because they got to try out a bunch of things. That's why Avatar, the second Avatar, Way of Water, looks so much more refined than the first Avatar because of that middle step of doing Alita. It was training ground for them.
Can you actually educate me on the Weta process? Is this like a performance capture technology?
Yeah, we have her in a suit for capturing her body movements, but also facial capture. It's a performance capture of all her performance, all her emoting. And we have witness cameras around everywhere to pick up where she is. And everything else is real. And we're just replacing her, but with someone even smaller in size. So you have to erase everything behind her. There's like a bunch of technical things you to do. But the idea is to, whatever performance she gives, she's such a great actress, is to capture all of that. Because then this character that doesn't even exist will feel very emotional, and you have to be tied to it. You have to feel its heart. And she was the heartbeat of it.
So she's acting with all this.
Acting with all that, but it just disappears. You know, she's not even, it's not even there. Like, we don't notice this is here. It's like that. She can just perform through it.
What was some interesting, unique, challenging things about you directing her performance in this kind of world?
I just knew she had to be her. It was going to be just so easy with her. She's just so great. Everything was just so real, and everything was just like, she's that character. She becomes that character who's seen this world for the first time. No special effects going to help you with that if the performance isn't there. So it was all about getting the performance and casting the right actors. That's why you get Christoph Waltz there, and you get Jennifer Connelly. You know, these masters are all on the set. Mahershala Ali, you know, you've got an amazing cast of people. And that's really the heart of it, so that the technology kind of goes away.
How hard is it to get the actors to act when, like, the full world is not around you?
We put so much of the world around them. Like, when you see the city, we put like a blue screen way in the back to just make the city keep going. But we built the sets there, the town, we built the real sets, so everything was very tangible and real. And that way she had to fit into that world and be as real as that. Because if it was all done in CG, well, then now you can fudge everything. But if you put her in a real environment, that's a real challenge. And that really helps them on Avatar, because that whole place is created in Avatar. You could get away with a lot, but they wanted to commit to that kind of detail. And on the next Avatar, that's why it just feels like you're really there. It's just stunning. And you get there by having something to work on like this to take the technology to the next level. So it was cool to be able to help, you know, knowing that you're being helpful to him in his process and not just distracting him. But then also he liked that his artist had something else to work on besides just Avatar, to just work on something, you know, different, to freshen up their perspective on things and methodology. And so, yeah, that was a really exciting movie to work on. And that we got to shoot it here, a Jim Cameron movie here in Austin. That was the best, having him here. And that my whole crew, who's worked with me 25, 30 years, everyone had an extra spring in their step, because they're like, wow, we're working on a Jim Cameron movie. I mean, that's just like a high bar of achievement for everybody, you know, working on it.